Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Build America, the national podcast that's capturing and sharing the very heartbeat of construction and development, and today of construction accounting and financial management systems. I'm your host, Kerry Smith, owner of Construction News and Review magazine. And we are delighted today to have Bangert Incorporated, Bangert Inc, with us today, the president and CEO, Kurt Bangert, and the COO and Integrator, Reid Bangert. And gentlemen, can't wait till we jump in and kind of walk through what our topic is, but welcome to Build America. So glad to have you with us today.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're really looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. As I understand it, and please correct me, but I'm kind of enthralled with your websites and reading about who is Bangert Inc., who is Sage Intacct Construction, and how are you making life easier, not just for the construction industry, but certainly that's our focus today, of just helping project managers and owners and the like just automate things and make their lives easier so they can concentrate on the things that they can't automate. And I would love for you guys just to take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about Bangert and about Sage Intacct and how long you've been in this space.
Sure. So if you don't mind, I'll start with that. So 2023 marks our 40th year in business. And we were founded really on the concept that applied technology increases productivity. In fact, my dad coined a phrase of increased productivity through applied technology, just a slightly different way of saying that. We still believe in that to this day. 40 years later, we're still 100% behind that idea. And we still see possibilities and we see ways that our customers can benefit from well-applied technology in each of their businesses. And you might be able to tell this is a family operation. And when I say that, that includes all of our staff. Everybody here is like our family. And when you interact with us as a company, you're going to see that as well. In fact, we have a couple of employees that have been with us nearly from our inception for both over 35 years. So it's really satisfying to be in this long and to see the changes in technology over time and to see the innovation that our customers apply, the benefits they've gained over all these decades. And, it keeps us excited for the future. And now, at this point in time, we are right at the point of really rolling out well-developed new technology platforms that our customers will benefit for decades to come. And I think that that's really one of the most exciting things that we have going right now.
That's great. And, Reid, maybe I can ask you about what are typically the functions for project managers and others that until recently that they did not automate, that they had to do manually and that were just time drainers that you've kind of tackled and made life easier for them? What kind of stuff?
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily specifically to project managers necessarily, but the whole business in general. And, we see a wide range. I mean, we've got folks who their business is 100% paper. So they're still dealing with paper invoices, paper timesheets, you name it. So we're taking that level all the way through automation. But honestly, some of the most basic things on how you distribute pay stubs to employees and how employees access their records and information, how customers access their record information, all that kind of stuff has been improved upon so much over the past 5-10 years even, that we're seeing a lot of people take advantage of not just invoice automation and things like that in financial software, but really how do we take that out to compliance? How do we take that out to other components of our business too?
Yeah, that's awesome. I noticed, like you said, it's not just in the construction realm, but I did notice on your website, you spoke about construction estimating and document management and all those things. I would think we've got fewer people doing more stuff with as our workforce is more compressed and scarce these days. So I bet what you're doing really speaks to people when you can show them how to make their lives easier.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a broad range of benefits that come with new technology. Everything from the cost of operation. For instance, the new Sage Intacct platform. We don't have to have servers. We don't have to have people maintaining servers. We don't have the cost of doing that. We don't have the time and cost of doing software upgrades, the disruption involved. And then we can look at new avenues. There's one thing to solve a cost and time and efficiency problem, which Sage Intacct does really nicely. But it's another thing to deliver information into the hands of the people that can put that information to use to further the business. So there's multiple ways that we want to go when we work with a company in Sage Intacct. Let's solve a cost disruption and headache problem, not core business things that you have to do, but also let's open the door to an opportunity of how do we get vital information to the people that make decisions. Additionally, as you mentioned, there's also that element of how do we maintain a workforce that's solid, but at the level at which we can perform, but not excess. Okay, so I like to think of this, we're not out to not have people work. We're out to have them do better work. Let's let the software and the system do the stuff that's important, but not innovative. And let's apply the time of our people to understand how to better utilize it, how to further the business through the usage of it, and use their minds for the things that really help improve the business picture for each of our customers.
That makes a lot of sense. I noticed I think it was on your website, you had the word implementation crossed through, and then you had substituted it, the word deployment. And for someone, I'm hoping if I need an explanation, and I'm sure it's something very clever that will resonate with everyone listening, but what's the scoop on why you are deploying or empowering people to deploy rather than implement? What's the difference?
We're very proud of that fact, actually. The traditional model of implementation is dead, whether we want to admit that or other folks do or not. And our mission is squarely around, we want our customers to buy our knowledge and not our time. And I'll let Kurt kind of explain it a little bit further just because he's been the visionary behind this whole strategy. But I can say that it's the end user experience is night and day in comparative to the way it used to be done.
So in 40 years, I've never met an individual who's been through an implementation that said, that was fun, let's do it again. Okay, never once.
Point made.
Never had that happen. So what this all started with was a question of why do we charge for the things we charge for? Why do we charge by the hour? Why do we do those things? And some of those key and core questions really went to the foundation of our business for so many years. And to this day, the traditional way for software consultants to earn their fee is to charge you an hourly rate. Now, my contention is that that's great for the reseller. It's great for the consultant, not so great for the customer. Okay. Because you're buying a segment of time. And if you're focused and good and so forth, you could get a lot out of that hour of time. But if you have a lot of other things going on and you're not focused that day or whatever it is, you may find you have to partially repeat what you've just done.
Sure.
Well, that's good news for the consultant and the reseller because they get to charge you another hour. It's not so good news for you. So we shifted our process from a buy our time model to buy our knowledge model. And our premise is that once you purchase our knowledge, you'll retain that knowledge. You now own access to that knowledge indefinitely. Does that make sense?
It does. It does make sense.
And then since we are now introducing a modern software platform, should we not also modernize the methodology of deploying that software with a customer? To me, hourly rates, assigning a single consultant to a project, to a customer, that relationship, all those things are actually counter to the interest of a customer. Because if I'm working with a single consultant, let's say we had a session yesterday and you have a few questions about what the topic we covered, and you contact that consultant and say, hey, could I get another hour of your time this afternoon? The answer oftentimes is going to be, oh, I'm sorry, I'm booked, but I could schedule you next Thursday at 1. Okay, well, it's not timely. It's not quick. It's not anything. So we've developed a system, and largely this is Reid. Reid's been the architect of the specifics of our system. And so now you have access to our knowledge 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year.
It makes sense because don't you want to equip a customer or a client to be self-sustaining? I'm thinking about this because we just redid our website and it was designed with the purpose that even I can perpetuate it and upload new content. Oh, thank you.
Hit the nail on the head.
Absolutely. Thank you. But because otherwise, what good is it if I buy a car and I can't operate it? I only watch the salesman demonstrate it and I can't open the trunk. So what you're saying really resonates with me a lot.
Absolutely. And you've hit the nail on the head because through all of our years, the one observation that I have that stands out above all else is that I know that our customers that know the most about their software are also the happiest, they get the most return from it, and they are the most productive. by far, hands down. And so why aren't all of our customers like that? Because they're not all like that. Why are they not like that? Well, one big reason is they know to gain more information, they're going to pay an hourly rate in that old model. So let's break those barriers down. Let's give every single customer a clear roadmap in advance. Here's what you need to do. Here's the sequence in which you need to do it in. And then here's all the material you need to be successful. And then we structure that in a learning management system so that when you start at the very beginning, the way Reid's designed all of this is it takes you step by step in the specific order that you should go and build your knowledge from none to fully confident and fully live. And if you get to a point where you're, let's say, hey, I didn't quite understand that, well, then you can join our daily Q&A sessions to get clarification. You can go back and repeat anything you want at any time. And you can, let's say, partway through the process, you've hired some new staff and you want to get them into the process. Well, you can put them right in. There's no additional cost to that. If you decide or choose to repeat something, there's no additional cost for any of that. We can state in advance, here's what deployment's going to cost you. It will never cost you a penny more than that. Now, that's also great. Counter to a traditional model. In a traditional model, what happens is the salesperson would deliver you an estimate of how much time they believe it's going to take to implement your system. That's an educated guess. They're typically, every intent is that for that to be accurate. However, there's no way for it to be accurate. And the reason for that is that unlike a construction project where oftentimes I either have direct control of the labor, the scheduling, the materials, and so forth, and I can choose how much of a labor force I put on the job site at any given time, or what equipment's there, or direct my subcontractors to do that, and then they're responsible for delivering on their schedule and commitments. But in the case of a software provider, we have no way to control the majority of the labor, which happens to reside within our customer's purview. So if you're a controller in a construction company and you're implementing a software system, much of the actual labor falls on that controller's shoulders and that team, that accounting team, for instance.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Right. And so as a software provider, we really don't have any ability to say, okay, accounting team, for the next 3 days, you're going to do only this. We just don't have that ability to make those kind of decisions or give that kind of direction. So if a customer chooses to get really on it, they move very quickly and efficiently. But in most cases, that's not possible. You still have an implementation is one of the most disruptive business events that any contractor can have, because not only does your staff have their day-to-day tasks complete, you can't just stop business,
right?
But they also now have all these added tasks. So the way the Bangert deployment system is designed is that you choose as a customer, you choose the pace, okay? Whether that is very aggressive pace or a more relaxed one that accommodates your day-to-day activities, you make that choice as a customer, which is where that choice rightfully should reside.
I wanted to ask you really quick about, because we've mentioned it a couple times and I don't think our listeners know what it is, and I need to know more about it, but Sage, S-A-G-E, and then I noticed it's Intacct with 2 C's,
Yes.
I-N-T-A-C-C-T. Didn't mean to, again, interrupt you, Kurt, but if you guys could let us know, what is that and how might that, in practical terms, benefit someone in the construction sphere?
Yeah, so Sage Software, traditionally known for Sage 300 Construction Real Estate, which is formerly Timberline and Sage Winter Contractor, which they still have more commercial construction companies using those software platforms than any other. Sage Intacct is their next generation platform. It is ready for contractors today. It's got built-in native payroll for those Timberline users. It's got some pay modifier systems that you would really like. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But it's Sage's next generation construction financial management platform.
Okay, so for people listening that maybe are CPAs or bankers and have heard of the Sage name, it's just the big umbrella would be just like IT software for project management or financial management. Tell us, for anyone who's living under a rock who doesn't know Sage or Timberline, what is that?
Well, Sage really has an end-to-end suite at this stage. So from their estimating platform, Sage Estimating, which is known throughout the industry. If you've been in commercial construction, you know what Sage Estimating is. And to project management with Sage Construction Management is a product that competes with some of the major project management systems out there, to Sage Intacct Construction, which is their financial management suite. So really they have an end-to-end solution from the time that you're estimating or bidding a job till you're closing that job out in your financial system books.
Very
So,
good. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, those are the core pieces. Plus, it can start even with any pre-construction through completion. And there's a service component and a property management component. So if we look at a building life cycle, Sage is one of the only ones that can cover the entire life cycle. So, but technological change. So Sage Intacct is a very highly regarded software system in the industry, outside construction as well. If you go to any of the major reviewers, you're going to see Sage Intacct is a very highly regarded system. This is the construction version of that, which there are some unique things about construction, which we can get into, but it's a cloud native, meaning it's built for the cloud. There's a lot of noise out in our construction software world about we have a cloud problem. In reality, what they're doing is simply taking their old on-premise software, hosting it remotely, and calling it cloud. Now, that's really not, I guess that's a form of cloud, but it doesn't really advance the ball. Okay. When we talk about Sage Intacct being cloud native, what that means is all you need is a device, a browser, and an internet connection to operate it. Those three things, that's all you need. If you can get on a website, you can get on your Sage Intacct instance. That's all you need. Yeah, I don't need any other infrastructure. I don't need RDP. I don't need all the things that connect a remote server to a computer. So it
How great for
simplifies
people on the
IT.
job site. Yeah, how wonderful that
Absolutely.
their smartphone,
Mhm.
right? They can
Smartphone, tablet, any
Yeah.
device. And so, but also think of the impact on the IT infrastructure. Let me step back. We drink the same Kool-Aid. Okay. So our company's been in completely cloud-based since 5 years ago. 100%. We haven't had a server since then. We will never, ever have a server again. And thank you very much.
Reid smiling when you
All
said
you
that,
guys,
Kurt.
absolutely love it. Well, and in my own case, in our own business case, I have people internally that are fully capable of maintaining a server. I don't want them doing that. They have more important, more valuable work to do. And I don't want the cost of paying somebody else to do it for me. So being cloud-based, I don't have to think about that. We can run with a wireless router, laptops, and monitors in our office. That's it. So it's really absolutely revolutionary. Our IT infrastructure cost is minimal, and so can our customers be. And the other thing about it, we have our talent. So the talent that we need in our company, a lot like a contractor in many ways, it's a very specific talent. There's not a whole bunch of them out there. So we pull the best from anywhere. So we have our employees reside everywhere from British Columbia to New York State and everywhere in between. And we work very effectively as a team because we're so cloud connected. And I advocate that for any of our customers. Use that kind of cloud connectivity to further your business and maintain your talent base and attract new talent beyond that.
It's an interesting perspective too, because I was just at a CFMA meeting in St. Louis the other day, and one of the contractors made a comment on how one of the benefits of pandemic and things like that is that they were able to start looking and searching for specific roles outside of their region. But they find, for instance, that in St. Louis, they have a stronger pool of accounting talent than anywhere else in the country. So it's very interesting that I think there's advantages to being cloud connected that aren't even really surfaced or can't be calculated. So many people are, how much money is this really going to save me because I have to justify the cost? Well, you don't know yet. We're 5 years into our own digital transformation, and I might find something tomorrow. I do that all the time. I find something that, hey, I can replace this thing over here that costs us $300, $400 a month, whatever it is. So that's the exciting part about this, is that it's really a major step in getting your system 100% into the cloud, and also getting your company on the right path to true digital transformation, which is not a piecemeal product solution or anything like that, but is having everything under one roof end to end.
That's awesome. I could talk to you guys all day. I'm just keeping my eye on on the clock, but definitely we'll have to come back. I would love to have a separate session just about next gen, just big picture. But we have been learning today from Kurt Bangert, President and CEO of Bangert Inc., and from Reid Bangert, who is COO and Integrator. I like that title. And talking about Sage Intacct and other ways just to make life easier for owners, project managers, and people well beyond employees and people well beyond the construction trades. But I know I've just learned a ton from you guys today. And yeah, please come back and talk to us and learn us some stuff again. It was fascinating.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd love
Thanks.
to do that. Kerry, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today.
You got it.
Thanks, Kerry.